Welcome back, everybody. This Week in America on the Blue Funk Broadcasting Radio Network. Great to have you with us on the program today. Stephanie Ciccarelli and her husband David run Voices.com, the #1 online marketplace that connects agents, marketing companies, and businesses with professional voiceover talent. An experienced technology entrepreneur, Stephanie is a frequent guest speaker at industry conferences, author of the book, co-author of the book with her husband, Voice Acting for Dummies. Her website is voiceactingfordummies.com. And Stephanie Ciccarelli joins us on the program. Stephanie, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us.
Well, thank you, Rick. It's a real pleasure to be here.
You know, this is something that is so fascinating, and we'll start by just talking about jobs, because some people think that really would sound neat, but I don't want to be on the radio. We're just not talking about radio here, are we? We're talking about a whole number of job possibilities.
Oh, definitely. There are so many different ways that you can use your voice in behind the safety of the microphone and not ever be live in front of an audience. So I think we can talk a lot about the different kinds of work, whether it be for telephony or maybe pre-recorded radio commercials or even acting up in the booth as a character in an animated film. There's plenty you can do without ever having to have that stage fright.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, the voice actor aspect of this. People think when you're on the radio, you just read a script and that's pretty much it. You do it in your voice and you're selling something. And when you start looking into it, there are so many other opportunities out there, and you really are an actor, only you're not on stage acting. You're acting in front of a microphone.
Oh, definitely. That's something that we really emphasize. It isn't really just about talking, right? Like anyone can talk, that's true. It's kind of one of these things that we've all been given as an ability to speak and use our voice, but not everyone can use their voice in an effective manner that really communicates a message well to the target audience. So there's a lot that goes into voice acting. It isn't just reading copy off of a page.
And you see this now, even in some of the biggest stars in Hollywood, where they're doing cartoon character, they're doing voices. And they're saying, this is great. I don't have to get all dressed up. I go into work. But when you're actually listening to them, even sometimes watching them record when they're doing some promo work, they're really into the character. So it really is acting, but it's not acting, again, on camera like we know it.
That's right. I think voiceover is very forgiving. You can be in the studio location or in a booth and just kind of do whatever you need to do in order to make your voice do what you need it to do. A lot of talent do use their hands, as you kind of alluded to. There are many different ways they can get into character. Some actually dress up to look like the character that they're voicing, or they'll have a photograph that kind of reminds them of who they're speaking to when they're doing their voice acting. But it is a very safe way to explore your creative ability as an actor without ever having that live audience. But what you do have to remember is that eventually your voice will be heard by a live audience of some kind, so you need to be as engaged as possible and really know who you're talking to so that you can share that message in a way that will be meaningful to them.
You're listening to This Week in America, our website, thisweekinamerica.us. You can log on and link on to Stephanie's website, get all the information. The book is Voice Acting for Dummies. The website is voiceactingfordummies.com. Stephanie, you did a great job with your husband, David, in taking this step by step. I mean, you walk through, and over the course of the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about it. You basically take everybody by the hand and walk them through this. So just as you're reading, you're thinking, yeah, but what if? The next paragraph pretty well covers that what if aspect of it. Let's start by talking about getting started. What is the initial thing we need to do if we want to look into this?
I think what you really need to do is get to know your voice. The voice is an instrument. It's not just something that you happen to have. Some people play piano or violin, and it's an external instrument, and you can take it with you places or use anyone else's piano for that matter. But your voice is your own instrument. It's within your body. So there's a lot you need to know about your voice and just kind of what you can do with it, but also how to care for it. I would say that would be the first step, is to really get an understanding of how you can use your voice, maybe how low you can speak versus how high you can go up to. Just kind of do a range test, understand what it means to breathe and where to breathe, and also how to use your voice in such a way that you can control it in terms of the volume level, or if you want to try an accent or two. There's so much you can do with your voice, and you have to understand it's a very versatile instrument, but at the same time, just like learning how to play any other instrument, there is some work that goes into that, and especially when you're getting started, just to kind of explore what you can do and perhaps maybe record yourself. That's a good way to do it. You can record yourself reading something and then listen back and kind of observe what you're hearing.
Stephanie Ciccarelli is our guest on This Week in America. The book is Voice Acting for Dummies, co-written with her husband, David. The book's available at their website, voiceactingfordummies.com, of course, available at amazon.com as well. And you do list in the book the 10 things you need to do to prepare. You mentioned one there. What are some other things that we should do in the beginning to get ready for this process?
Well, I think something that you need to also do is just to kind of, well, aside from understanding your voice, you need to also know how to use the equipment. And that can be scary for some people, but it really doesn't have to be, because you have your computer, you have a microphone, and you also have a cable that connects the two. So if you're using a USB microphone, which some people may, and that's an excellent way to get started, you can just plug that right into your computer, just plug and play, as they say. And most computers have, either if you're on a Mac, you maybe have GarageBand, or you could get a free recording software like Audacity, and you can start to work with that to become more comfortable with your equipment. So we always say that you need to be mindful of the artistic side, of the business side, and also the technical side, because those are the three branches that really hold everything together, so to speak. If you have a stool with three legs, those are them for voice acting, to be a great artist, but also to have a good head for business and to understand the technology in order to use it to your best advantage.
If this sounds like something you'd like to pursue, I highly recommend the book, Voice Acting for Dummies, available at Stephanie's website, voiceactingfordummies.com. It's done in sort of module fashion. It leads you through. You can skip a section. You can go back to a section after you've gone through. Stephanie will be with us over the next few weeks. We'll be talking about equipment, because people are thinking, do I have to go to a studio? I can't spend $50,000 for equipment. With the software and the equipment out there, putting a demo together. We're going to talk about that coming up here. And also, you can go to voices.com, get some information there. You've got an excellent section on finding jobs. And if someone is actually looking for a voice for a project that they're doing, Stephanie, I understand they go to voices.com and find voiceover talent there and avoid some of the agency fees they normally might get into.
Definitely. We have many, many talented people from all over the world who've listed themselves as voice actors, and their voice samples are there for everyone to listen to. So someone could either post a job to have a casting call where the talent whose profiles match whatever that casting call is asking for, they're invited to audition, or that client could also just search through our website and find a voice that way.
Stephanie Ciccarelli has been our guest on This Week in America. The website is voiceactingfordummies.com. The book is available at that website, also available at Amazon. The book is Voice Acting for Dummies. It's all that information available at our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Stephanie, thank you for joining us. We'll have you back in the program, and we'll pick up and talk about home equipment, because I think people are going to be surprised to find out that actually people are doing this, making a living, dressed in their pajamas, doing it in their bedroom from home with the equipment that we have on the market now. So we'll talk about that in a future program. You're listening to This Week in America on the Blue Funk Broadcasting Radio Network.